So welcome to another good fun call. So for those of you that are new, we think we have a couple of new people on here actually. This is super laid back. You can have cameras on, cameras off, you can interact, you can ask questions in the chat, you can ask them to me afterwards, you can unmute and ask yourself during or afterwards. That's totally fine. I'll go through some announcements first, and then I'll hop into our topic, which tonight is all about optimizing hormones. And then at the end, for whatever time is left over, you are welcome to ask any questions that you have available. Let's see. I also want to touch on the fact I continue to coach with our team between challenges the same way that we coach during challenges. So just because it's in between challenges doesn't mean we stop, doesn't mean that our goals are met or not met and we take a break, right? Like we can take a step back if we really want to, but I'm still going to be doing assessment reviews with my team. We're still going to be checking in on you. We're still going to be running the game plan just as if we are part of the challenge. So plan to continue working just as we have been. With all of that, wanted to also make an announcement in here. I did an announcement in the app, but Jamie and Jenna that are helping me in there now, when they do assessments or they send a message or something, they will sign it, their name at the bottom. If there's no name at the bottom, that is me talking to you. So just so you guys are aware, like that's how we're kind of working it. We're working as a team. I oversee everything per usual, like we talked about last week, but they have learned so much and they are a wealth of knowledge themselves. They are just totally crushing, reviews and understanding how to help and give really great recommendations. So I have no question whatsoever that you are in wonderful hands when they are helping you. If there are ever any hesitations or any questions whatsoever, get a hold of me. We will work everything out. But with that being said, just want to make sure that when you don't see a name at the bottom, you're talking to your girl. Let's see. With all of that too, the resilient coaching is going to be opening back up. So resilient coaching is my one-on-one coaching plan. I am going to be opening that back up in the middle of June. This time around, I'm making a couple of small tweaks to it as I've gotten a hold of how I love running it. It's gone amazing. The people in the resilient coaching are getting such fantastic results. I'll have them showcase that for themselves afterwards, but it has been great to see these people make the wins and the strides that they were after. So I'm actually going to open this up to about 20 spots, and it's going to be a 12-week program instead of a 10-week program. And there will be a 30 to 45-minute initial consult call during week 1. And then the following 11 weeks, we'll have a 20-minute one-on-one call each week where we go through your assessment. We pick it apart piece by piece, see where we can really alter, tweak, make sure that you're getting the best results that you can based on your lifestyle, what your goals are, what you're trying to achieve, all of those things. So you get a lot of that really good one-on-one time where we can really dial things in very, very specifically to your struggles and your goals. So that will be opening back up mid-June. So let me know if you have questions on that. A huge giveaway I announced last time is going to be starting up June 1st. It's going to run through June 30th. There will be a ton more details coming out here soon about that for how to get signed up, what to do for it. It's going to be a lot of sharing. It's going to be a lot of talking about what we do in here. And I will explain more, but it can be everything from sharing in a podcast episode and tagging me in it to tagging me in a post about your transformation, to showcasing a recipe that you made from the group, to something in the app that you've done, right? It's going to be a wide array of just how you're living your lifestyle as, we are working through your goals. So it's going to be really fantastic. So that's coming up, and that person, the winner of that, is going to get an all-inclusive weekend trip with one friend that I fly all of us to First Form at HQ, and we're going to hang out for a couple days together and work out and see all the people down there, and it'll just be a super great time. So would love to have one of you guys earn that and spoil you for a couple of days. As far as the Invest in Yourself coaching, I wanted to just give you guys what the topics are coming up for next month. So week 1 is going to be all about decluttering life. Week 2 is going to be static versus active stretching. Week 3, sleep better and optimize your digestion. And then the last week is going to be jealousy to inspiration. So good, really wide array of topics going on. It's going to be a good one. So if you guys have interest in that, let me know. Everything is linked on the website, so it's easy to find. And then last but not least, please continue sharing as you have been, which is great. Tagging me when you do that, whether it's sharing a recipe or a workout or a podcast or whatever it is that's serving you and helping you, please continue to share and tag me in those. That means the world, to just like help get the name out there. So, always much appreciated. But without further ado, we are jumping into hormones and how to optimize them. So I feel that the best way that I can educate you on this is to tell you about what I went through and what happened to me and the side effects of that, and then how I undid it. Because I feel like a lot of you kind of do the same things that I had been doing. So I want to make sure that we don't go down that road if you don't want to. Okay. So my backstory. What I've learned over the last few years is that my body is highly reactive and sensitive to stressors. So my cortisol levels must shoot through the roof, and then all of my stress is just like a big bundle, and then all the bad things start to happen. So what I had been doing to get to that really high stress point is I was overdoing workouts, like really overdoing workouts. I would run almost every day for like 45 minutes at a time. And then I was doing like CrossFit style training as well, almost every single day. Would not take a day off as far as just having an active recovery day or a stretching workout. Nothing like that was satisfying me. I needed to be balls to the wall always. So I was really overdoing training. I was having way too much caffeine. We've been talking about caffeine in our invest group this week. What I'm at right now is nothing compared to what I was doing back then. So, I mean, it was through the roof always. So my adrenal glands were just always just at their edge. I was not taking time to decompress. So not only was I a big stress ball, my anxiety was through the roof because of all the things. I wouldn't take the time to slow down and learn how to manage stress better, or to take a deep breath and decompress the things. It was just this big shaking bundle of anxiety all the time. So that was what I was doing. I refused to ask for help. I was one of those people that I'm going to do it, and I'm going to put my head down, and I'm going to grind through it. And I'm going to be the only one I can depend on. And that really caused a lot of rifts in life. And then I constantly was worrying about literally everything, worrying about all the things, whether I could control them or not. So all of those things combined, plus more, I'm sure, led to the following issues: really poor gut health and tons of bloating problems, improper hormone responses due to the gut, because a lot of your hormones are actually created in your gut and managed in your gut and via your vagus nerve that runs through your gut. So there's that. I was losing my hair, was like literally losing my hair. I thought I was going to go bald. It was bad. My ponytail was like 10 strands. That's where we were at. So I was losing my hair. Absolutely zero libido. That was out the window. I lost my cycle for almost a year. Stalled progress. I could not like gain any more progress, and I struggled to do anything except for feel like crap all the time. So my body was really stalled out. I was always in a really sour mood, and I had acne terribly popping up everywhere, like cystic type acne that was popping up all the time. So those were some of the issues that occurred due to me leading this really high stress lifestyle that I wasn't learning to manage appropriately. So all of the high stress, all of the high cortisol, and all of the extra bundle of anxiety led to all of these issues and all of the hormones getting thrown off. And when your hormones get thrown off, it takes a long time to rebalance them. So I really wanted to just touch on the fact it all stems from cortisol remaining really elevated too much for far too long and tapping out on those adrenal glands. I needed to change my habits, lifestyle, stress reaction, and goals in order to start to undo all of the things that I had done. So I'm going to say, I think I listed like 6 or 7 things that I did. And then I'm going to dive a little deeper into each one of them after I say them, so that we can kind of see how they could apply to you guys based on what you're struggling with. So I thought that might be the most applicable way to go through this, because it's not a one size fits all. And some of these things, as you take them away, will be really beneficial for you. Other things may not work for you, but this is what's worked best for me. This is what's worked best for a lot of other people that I've worked with too. So we can really pick and choose and see what we can make work for you too. So the things that I changed my goals to long-term health goals instead of always having a 6-pack. right? I used to think that if I was walking around just shredded all the time, that that was ultimate views of health. No, wrong. Okay, so I changed my views and changed my status of what I should look like as far as healthy goes to a long-term healthy lifestyle and a healthy physique that made sense. I changed my eating habits to rid most processed foods and those like added sugars and focus mostly on whole foods. Backed off on my training style and focused on taking more recovery days as well as recovery weeks. I asked for help and actually hired a team, including coaches, a bookkeeper, and an incredible admin assistant, all of which have helped take so much stress off of my plate because I had all these awesome ideas all the time and then I'd lose them and then things just wouldn't get done. I would get stuck. So I unloaded some of that pressure and allowed other people to excel in what they're great at to help support the business and grow it and take some of that pressure off myself. So I wasn't good at doing my own books. I hired a bookkeeper. She does all of my stuff for my taxes. We send it to my tax man. I am now out of the middle. It makes it way easier, right? When you can possibly unload some of these things onto other people, that makes sense. We'll dive into that a little bit more, but it makes so much sense to reduce those stressors. Next, I also changed my mindset surrounding food. This is going to be a big kicker and one of the biggest things that made a big difference for me. So I'm going to talk through that. And then I also changed some things around in my schedule, which was also a really, really big game changer for me. So I'm going to talk through those things as well. So a deeper dive into each of these and how they help me and how they can possibly apply to you. So be honest about your goals and the why behind them. So examples of new goals and how that helped me, you know, help me help more people. It's raining. Sorry, caught me off guard. So like for instance, I decided that I really wanted to focus on improving my mood or improving my bloat. Why was I always bloating, right? So by changing my goals to overall health, by changing my goals to wanting to actually feel good, have more energy, have less of a sour mood all the time, allowed me to really see the bigger picture so that I could start to edit those things. The why behind everything, if I stopped focusing so much on just being as lean as I possibly could and focus more on this like lifestyle piece, I knew that I could help more people because let's be honest, most of us are not going to walk around shredded all the time. It's just not going to be the lifestyle for the majority of people. But almost everyone in here can walk around feeling a little bit better about themselves inside and out every day. And if we can all learn how to appreciate just feeling better as a goal, that will help more people see that as a win. And then, so that's something I want you guys to kind of take away from that is like, what can your goals do for you? But also, how can editing your goals from being the smallest version of yourself instead turning to like being the strongest version of yourself, how can that have a ripple effect on the people around you? How can your family see you differently? How can your coworkers see you differently? How can your kids look at you differently when you are working on being the strongest version of you, the healthiest version of you, maybe not the smallest version of you, right? So there's going to be a big difference on how you portray yourself, and it's going to be a big difference in how other people look at you and how they start to recreate what you're doing for themselves. Because regardless of what you think, you do have a ripple effect on people around you and you are inspirational to people around you. So your whys, your goals are absolutely incredibly important. Because the way that you portray yourself is the way that your kids are going to portray themselves. So just keeping that kind of stuff in mind is going to be really, really helpful. Changing processed foods and like getting rid of those and getting rid of the fake added sugars, they really, really screw up your brain in a way that they can make it really, really addicting. And then also it can also really screw up your gut lining. And if you screw up your gut lining, then we lead to like leaky gut type stuff. And we go down this whole path. And then all of your hormones start to get messy. And your enzymes get messy and you feel gross all the time and food particles can get into your bloodstream early and then you just feel like crap, right? So basically I decided I'm going to start controlling my food. right? So if I can control by taking in minimally processed foods most of the time, if I can focus on taking in all of these whole foods, super nutrient dense, focusing on my fiber and taking all this stuff in, what happens is you gain control of your food, you gain control of your gut, and therefore you gain control of your brain, right? So all of a sudden, I am now managing to be in control of all these pieces where before I felt like I was always just fighting with willpower. The less that you have to depend on willpower, the better, because willpower only lasts so long. So if you change the way that you look at food, you're going to learn how to do a better job controlling your reactions and controlling your cravings, controlling your appetite, controlling everything. Another one, more recovery days and even weeks can lower the overall body stress and allow for cortisol to actually drop naturally. Will also help improve other functions and other hormone responses and even cravings. So by taking more recovery days, and I don't know if you guys remember, I took like a full recovery week in there. I really just walked and stretched for a week, and that was it. My cortisol seriously dropped because my sleep and my recovery really improved, and I was super recovered, right? I was getting more rest. And when you get more rest, your cortisol drops. When your cortisol drops and we're getting more rest, we're actually going to have a lot less cravings because our blood sugar is a lot more managed instead of going on these big spikes and drops. So by taking care of yourself and actually allowing your body to recover more appropriately through rest days, through rest weeks when needed, and focusing on sleep recovery and focusing on just muscle recovery as well, everything, de-stressing your body as much as you can, then you're going to be able to control a lot more of the things that you battle right now. When you aren't as tired, you're not going to crave as many of those, trashy carbs that you want. When you're not as tired, you're going to be in a better mood. When you're not as tired, you're going to be in the mood more often. Like all of these things add up to making a better lifestyle, right? So don't be afraid to take some of these rest days and rest weeks when applicable. Let's see. Next. So if you have been overdoing those workouts, really focus on slowing down, focus on stretching and walking only, and then allow your body to really catch up. So the next one, asking for help and trusting others to do what I was doing as well as I was doing was really hard for me. And honestly, it ended up being that other people can do the jobs that I was trying to do a lot better than me. So you have to find the right people to help you, right? But if you're able, right? And maybe you're not running a business, but look at this from like my husband and wife situation. Okay. So it was really hard for me to ask Rob to help with certain things because he already does so much. But by asking him to help with certain things, in having honest conversations with him about my struggles, made it a lot easier for us to work together on certain things or to do less of the things that piss each other off. That would be the straw that breaks the camel's back all the time. So asking your significant other for help or asking your significant others, like, can you please not do X because it really frustrates me, right? And then you guys have that honest conversation about like what you do that frustrates them. And then you are all in the aware and nobody gets resilient and or nobody gets what's not resilient, that's not the word I'm looking for, but nobody gets angry over the long term, right? So something to think about with that. But me personally running my team, I hired a team and trusted them to follow through, and that took a lot of stress off my shoulders. So if you can ever, if you're running a business or you are, in charge of something, if you can delegate to people that are trained and qualified to take some of the stressors off of you, they're going to do a better job at those jobs than you were doing anyway. And they're going to get done a lot faster and a lot higher quality. Right. So that takes the stress off of you and it helps you grow in a way that you want to grow. So really taking that next leap was one of the best things I could have ever done. So what I want you guys to do is like spouse, or maybe it's a kid that can do an extra chore or something like that. Is there someone that you can reach out to and ask to help you do something that you're having trouble getting done? Or can you say no to doing things that you have been volunteering for or voluntold to do more often to take that stress off of your plate? One of the big things that I did to make a big change was my mindset surrounding food. So I used to be one of those people that I would hoard my food in the, throughout the day because I always was afraid of being hungry at night. I don't know why. I would think that would make such a big difference. Like I was going to be hungry at night. I would want to eat the world. But what happens when you do that, right, is you starve all day and you get home and finally all the stress is relieved because you like made it through the day and now you're ravenous and you eat everything in the cabinet. Oh crap, what happened? Right. So I really started trusting myself with whole foods, really started, I followed the circadian rhythm fasting plan, and I've been doing that since February, and it's made all the difference. And that's not like a typical fast, right? It's like a 12-hour fast overnight. So 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Super easy. That's when I eat. And I'm done eating 2 hours before bed. And I don't eat or consume anything with calories in it until 7 a.m. And it just works beautifully. It really, really does. And what that also did is I have more dense whole food meals. So that's leading to less cravings, more satisfaction, better appetite control, and all of that stuff is going to help lead to less stress. And when we can manage stress better, we can sleep better, we have better digestion and all of those things. You know what else happens? Our hormones are more regular too, right? All these things help everything work together. And I no longer feared being hungry at night because I was done eating by 7. So I have my supper and I have my little Power Pro bar afterwards. I'm happy. I'm content. Reds and greens, we done. I'm done for the evening and I know that and I'm totally satisfied. So it really changed my mindset around food of like, I need that late night snack. I need that thing later. I need to have this. No, you don't. I don't need to have that anymore because I'm satisfied doing what I'm doing. So trying to get your mind wrapped around the fact that the food doesn't have to control you anymore. You can be in control of the food is a whole new stepping stone you can take. Changing my schedule. This is the last one that I had written down, and I have just some basic points at the end. But changing my schedule. So if you can at all be in charge of your schedule, I know a lot of you work full-time jobs, so I get that's not necessarily doable. But if you can manage your schedule, this is going to be really helpful. So what I did is I started splitting my days into like 3 mini days and one. So basically I work and optimize my prime time hours, which are right away in the morning, to do a lot of my work that I need to get done every single day. Nobody bothers me in those hours. My kids are in the house with Rob at those hours. I can get things caught up and I can get things knocked out and I can take care of all of those tasks and remove that stress from my brain right away in the morning. By 7 a.m., the hardest part of my day is over, right? Most people are not even started yet. I get out of bed at 4:15, have some me time till 5. I work from 5 to 7, take care of kids from 7 to 8, and then I get to work out freely from 8 to 9. I don't have to think about anything. Work is caught up. I've already done the hard tasks. Life is great. So then I go back in and I have another work day from like 10 to 1. And then I have another little mini break in there where I go for a walk and do a cold plunge and eat lunch. And then I come back and I work for a little bit longer until the kids get home. Then we do family stuff, right? So splitting my days and taking control of when my brain is optimal has made the biggest difference for how productive I can be, how much I get done. And when you're productive and you get things done, then all of a sudden you have dopamine drips and you're super happy, you feel accomplished. And when you're super happy and accomplished, then we don't want to dig into things that because we're not stressed, right? When you get that dopamine drip, you're not stressed anymore. When you're accomplishing things, you're not stressed anymore. When you're less stressed, your hormones are better in control. It's literally how it all goes together. If you can manage your gut health, you can manage your stress, you're going to feel a lot better. Your hormones are going to be a lot more optimized. Let's see, other things that we can do. You can prioritize more fats at night instead of more carbs at night, if at all possible. The fats are going to help keep you fuller longer overnight. They're also going to help a lot with optimizing hormone production overnight. So that's something that you can do that I've definitely put into effect. A lot of clean fats, like, avocado oils or olive oil dressings. You could do nuts and seeds. You could do avocados themselves. There's all kinds of options for really great fats. You can have fatty meats, salmon, that kind of thing. That's going to be great for you overnight. So really trying to prioritize those at night. It's going to be great. And then another thing that's really, really important is if you're tracking your cycle, to try and lower stress the week before your period. So that's going to be when your like hormones really swap around. And if you can at all optimize yourself at all that week before, really try and back it off a little bit, right? If you're usually doing a lot of HIIT or you're trying to do a lot of running or anything like that, try and back it off that week before your period. Allow your hormones and your energy to balance out for how low everything is. It's going to help you feel a lot better and get through the week a little bit better without all of the extra cravings. And then honestly, on day one of your period, when everything starts, you should start feeling that energy come back up and you should feel a lot stronger again. You could start pushing through harder workouts again and doing more stressful things. So if you can manage your cycle and watch your cycle, watch for that week beforehand and really try and lower your stress that week. Anything you can do to lower your stress that week is going to be really, really helpful. So I have one more quick thing. So just remember that all these lead to small improvements physically, mentally, and emotionally. So when we improve our physical, our mental, and emotional, then our stresses release. And then when our stresses go down, then our gut feels better. When our gut feels better, our hormones are working better, and the vagus nerve is cooperating and talking more appropriately. All of the things work better when we make these small changes. Finding ways to reduce stress will automatically improve and control your hormones, and all of that follows. And then remember that ripple effect of, what we're doing and having those honest conversations with yourself and those that you love and that are around you to your true why and your goals are going to relieve a lot of that stress and that guilt. So this was kind of all over the place. And I don't know if this is going to be more applicable than just having a direct conversation about optimizing hormones, but I thought that having a really practical application type call would be beneficial for you guys to see how you can really take different pieces of your lifestyle and change them in order to put them into yours. So that's what I've got for you tonight, but let me know. Feel free to send anything in the chat, anything. You can unmute and ask questions as well. Well, I won't keep you. I hope you guys took something away from the call that was helpful. If you decide that you need anything or you want to talk to me one-on-one after this, just shoot me a message and I'll always be there to help you. So have a wonderful evening, you guys, and I will talk to you all later on.